So here we are, episode 89 of Manifesting with Meg. And I can tell you guys tonight is going to be a real doozy because my guest shows up and he levels up, and you'll learn more about what that means. But I'm so excited to bring you Manifesting with Meg, conversations with extraordinary people. Today our theme is master the beauty of doing nothing. This is all about transformation. We could all use that. Dreams, we could all want to see those or realize those. Inspiration, true happiness, and discovering bliss. You guys, we're just a conversation away from extraordinary. Time to wake up to a universe packed with possibility. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Suzanne's here to join us tonight. I'm so excited. I love this guy. He is just one of my favorite people. And I told him at the outset, he makes me smile, and we need more of that. So even if the world is a little sad, he's going to bring the happy. So all of you, get ready for an amazing show. As you all know, this show is based upon my book, The Magical Guide to Bliss. I'll show you guys here 366 insights of the day to take you more closely toward, there it is, towards your dreams through insights and inspiration and inner bliss. And as I indicate to all my wonderful guests, we pick a number that corresponds to a page in the book and set our intentions at the outset. At the end of the show, we'll share those with everyone. And all of you want to play along too. If you have the book, pick a number yourself, and let's get to the magical synchronicity of this wonderful evening in March as we head toward the spring equinox, which I love. And we're all basking in an extra hour of light. So there you go. Bring in the light, people. So here we go. Scott, welcome. It's so great to have you here tonight.
Miss Nocero, how are you?
Oh my gosh. Like I said, there are some people that I love to talk to because you just bring it, you lift it, and you expose, you basically elevate, and that's you. So let me tell everybody about you, because this is actually going to even pique their interest more into what's going to happen tonight between you and me. You are the host of a show called Time to Shine Today. It's a podcast. His mission is to not have anyone feel like they have no one, which I think is an amazing mission, coming certainly off of a time where there was great isolation and people feeling alone. So to have a podcast available like that, you guys, that's going to literally make you feel like you are a part of the collective, the whole, because Scott is that kind of guy. His story was highly sought after by people in the entertainment business, which he was not ready to share until now. And his story is a good one. You will not believe what he's going to tell us. So he has the wonderful opportunity on Time to Shine Today to share knowledge nuggets, he calls them, to help individuals and teams to level up both in personal and the professional world. He is a veteran in the United States Navy with multiple deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia. Thank you so much for your service, Scott. And that was in the early to mid 1990s. Now what he does is he's actively podcasting, having conversations with as many wonderful people as he can. And also, and he's a real estate junkie and investor. Scott loves to give, live intentional, loves the beach, jiu-jitsu, fitness, yoga, and volunteering. Did I miss anything, Scott?
I think you nailed it. I love it. I'm so blessed to be here.
I am so excited to have you. One of the things that I like about people like you is that when the world may feel so dark, these are the light. You bring the light. You are the kind of people who show up with a light. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are literally a light in this world. So if anyone's out there who wants to find more of that, go check out his podcast. That's my huge plug, because this man in and of it himself is wonderful, luminescence, all the good lights. So how are you tonight on this wonderful March 14th?
I am fired up, man. I am so happy and blessed to be here. I respect you immensely, like I say, and you blessed us on episode 197 on Time to Shine Today, and just dropped some serious knowledge nuggets about you can do anything from a place of belief, and that your mission is to inspire others to come alive in the beauty of their life. And it's just like, in your book, I read it daily. Like, seriously, I read it daily. You can see it's marked to today. And when you told me that we were going to do the the topic today of, mastering the beauty of doing nothing, it was like, man, that's what I just read. So that was awesome. It was fun. Good stuff.
I have one of the audience members here is Mike Spatola, and he is one of these people that I got to connect you with on the side. But he also literally is someone who levels up, and I just find that we're in this circle of empowerment with each other. So I love that you are that you pull people in, and I love it. I got to shout out. He's on the green screen. We are dedicating this evening to the week that St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and anyone who wants to celebrate, that's clearly where our heads are tonight. So let's get ready. We're going to celebrate. Mike Spatola is saying he's also a fan of Magical Guide. Thank you so much, Mike.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Suzanne.
He's going to be a magical fan of you, too, at the end of this interview. But let me tell you something. There's a beautiful thing that I think a lot of people are not very good at. And that is, in Italian, it's il bel far niente. And it's the beauty of doing nothing. We're constantly in motion. So the theme tonight on March 14th is master the beauty of doing nothing. And I can't imagine, I love it because I'm talking to someone who is doing everything all the time. And that's the kind of energy you have. But as we both know, it may seem like an impossibility, but at the end of the day, we have to recharge, right? And then obviously, get it going so that we can feed or fill ourselves up so that we can be present for others. You do that well as well, because I love your posts on Instagram. You're always I love it. And then jiu-jitsu. So I want you to tell me, I know there's a great achievement in taking generous breaks from hard work. We're all hard workers, and hard work is applauded, but you really need to stop and actually bask in the rewards of your hard work and, rest and recharge so you're inspired again. So tell me, what are your thoughts around this tonight as we start this episode?
I love the topic. I am a huge believer in daily sabbaticals, and I take one every day. It might only be.
What is that? Tell us. I love that.
A daily sabbatical is like you were on the east coast of Florida, and I get to look at the ocean, and that you can just walk and just so many things come to me when I just shut it down, right? And I believe you even wrote that. But that's when everything really comes to me. It's like it's crazy. It's when you're in the moment. It could be like when you're in the shower, right, and you're really doing nothing, but things come to you. So I just believe in daily sabbaticals. With I'm very, very precise with my days to where I have that time that I call it my sabbatical time. And Susan will laugh at me and just be like, "Oh, I'm taking my sabbatical," and it could be 10 minutes of binaural beats in my ears and just taking in like a delta nap, right? Where I'm just chilling and let my body refresh and getting into that creativity. So I think that taking a sabbatical every day and embracing doing nothing really levels you up to be able to be creative. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, I think that's really awesome. And I think that the fact of the matter is that I have come to my computer sometimes and I'm just so drained, typing one letter on the thing. I'm like, oh, it feels feel the push, but for whatever reason, a lot of times we're pulled and we need to remind ourselves to take the sabbatical, that daily sabbatical you're speaking to. And let me ask you this, because I love this, because I know you're going to come up with something great. What has been the most magical thing that's happened when you've taken one of those daily sabbaticals in the recent past that maybe has occurred to you?
My podcast.
Yeah. Oh, it came in during a sabbatical.
Period. It came during a sabbatical. It was like, it was before COVID. It was I launched it December 19th of 2019. And I see Leslie's on here, and she rocked the mic on Happily Ever After, I believe is her book. And she's just amazing. And I spelled her name wrong, and I still feel bad about it. So one person, I actually spelled her name wrong, and I apologize profusely about it. But she was so cool about it. But the podcast came to me, and it was like, you know what? How can I feed my selfish nature of being able to talk to people? Like, obviously COVID put that on steroids, right?
Yeah.
But being able to connect with people like yourself, people like Leslie, and soon Mike, and I know Suzanne's coming on the show as well, Berta Medina, other people like that I might not have met through COVID. It accelerated meeting you guys, but eventually I would have. because I did the work to be able to want to talk to people to level me up. And I didn't realize that it would go to the extent of over 1 million listens and get to the traction it did. But it literally started with me like just walking my pit bull around our lake. And I was like, man, I want to do a podcast, and I want to do it where I can talk to people that level others up. And leveling up is something that I use. Everything is built like how you say shine and stuff. Everything's built around leveling up. I mean, I have stickers that go in everything I mail out. Everything is about leveling up, and leveling up was a joke. Right. So it was like when I was in the military, I'd be like wanting to go out to the beach, and all my guys that I served with were like, hey, we're playing Nintendo and Sega, which I'm dating my age, by saying that, but playing Nintendo and Sega, we're going to level up. I'm like, you losers level up. I'm going to get a workout or do something like that. Yeah. And that's just where kind of leveling up and that came from. But going back to your question, that my podcast came from a sabbatical, like literally. And I learned the sabbatical from Robin Sharma. He wrote the book Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
I love that book.
And he just says, you got to take a sabbatical. And I got him coming on my show, which is going to be awesome too.
You're having Robin Sharma come on your show.
Yeah, I got some. It's funny when you get traction, the people that you're able to kind of get, and it's cool, And I got like. That's where it came from. It's just really doing nothing. And a lot of my stuff comes from doing nothing. Even in Jiu-Jitsu, which I'm not high level at all, but it's like when you're in a position where you're at a disadvantage, when you just take a breath and really do nothing in a position is where you can actually attack from. Yeah. And so that's just how life is. If you get backed into a corner and you feel like you're in the dark, just take a break, take a step back, and more things can happen from there.
No. Okay, first of all, I love the fact that what you just said in jiu-jitsu, I never thought about that, but it's kind of like this, like the opportunity to engage the energy, right? Mm-hmm. You're sitting there and you're just allowing, which I think is a lot of times we're all pushing, right, and we're forgetting to allow. And then we exhaust ourselves because we're burning at both ends. So what you're saying there, I love, first of all, Mike's saying he loves the daily sabbatical time, embracing it. So that is fantastic. We're all going to do our sabbaticals for sure. But the reality is that without those, you're no good for anyone, especially for yourself, how you navigate this world. And I think that a lot of times, we're all, wanting to show up and, level up and all that fun stuff. But unless we do take it in, like fill our cup, like I said before, then it's just not going to be a great experience for you. And I love how you said the selfish notion that you wanted to have these kind of conversations in a podcast forum. Sure. And now you're in XM, right, radio, and you're like hitting 1 million listeners. It's just one of those things that you couldn't imagine at the time, but you follow that intuitive hit. I love that.
And it makes you more intentional. When you're arrested and you're focused, for lack of a better term, because I've been taught to do it for the intention, but not the attention, right? So important. It's like when you are taking that time to rest, rejuvenate. You start doing things intentionally instead of forcing them, right? So,
well, I'm a huge, power of awareness.
Yeah, you are.
The whole idea, right? Like I was saying, I was listening to something today, and I was just like, sometimes these beautiful hints of magic come into your life, and if you're not paying attention, you're not aware, then it'll just go jump to someone else. It's like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Wait a second. That was mine.
Yeah, intention goes where energy flows where intention goes, right? If you're not studying those intentions and being in the moment, it's going to flow somewhere else, just like you just said.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I, one of my favorite things about the show is that I get to tap your brain for your inspirations. I gave you mine in my book, and my guide, but you also going to hand out some today with some of these quotes that you absolutely are inspired by. So without further ado, we have the first one. Attitudes are contagious. Is mine worth catching? Wow. What does this mean to you, my friend?
It's that people are going to feed off your energy. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but at the same time, if you wake up, I have a gratitude sandwich every morning, right? And and so like the way it works is I set the first line is set my intentions for the day, make someone smile, compliment people, level my clients up, my coaching clients, whatnot. And then in the middle are the things that I am worried about. And I put the worries there. And then I list 14 things underneath it. Well, 13 things that I'm absolutely grateful for. Right. And at the bottom, the last one is a love letter to myself saying, Scott, I love you. And you're going to have a great day. You're going to make people smile. You're going to level people up. And so you have the intention, the worries, and then the 14 things underneath, and it becomes a sandwich and it squeezes the worries out. So with that, it sets my attitude for the day of gratitude. So when you have that, then people are going to see it and they're going to you're going to give them no choice but to level up because their attitude is never going to take me down ever.
It's
so they either get on board and level up or not.
Well, I mean, even I don't know how much of your story you want to share, but certainly that's important to with regard to who you are now, who you've become, based on the foundationals. I don't know if you want to share some of that because I love the gratitude sandwich. Yeah. That makes me happy. I think that's wonderful that you're not pushing away those worries. You're actually acknowledging them, but yet you're still bringing them together to this place where there's gratitude at the end. So there's that live life as though it's rigged in your favor, which I just love that. So tell me.
Love that. That's mad. That's awesome.
That's awesome. I just love it because wow, I got excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to do that tomorrow. There you go. I'm going to start every day with my gratitude sandwich, a la, Scott. Thank him every morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we forget to be grateful a lot of times because of what we feel is so, overwhelming concern or worry. And I think that the shifting is really important. I think that what you said is really key is that no one's going to bring my energy down. It's when I kind of hang out in my room or, when I feel like I'm not really strong because I want to make sure that I don't kind of anyone else's toxic or that kind of nature feeds on me. But that's how I got to own my own karma too. If it's showing up, then I must have it as well. But tell me a little bit about your story that makes you the kind of man who you are today.
I was born in 1972, so I just turned 50. Woohoo! Half century, I made it. And I was born in 1972 in the Philippine Islands. And at that time, my father was an American GI, and my mom was Filipino. He knocked her up, and she got pregnant with me. And so bastard males at the time were very frowned upon in the Philippine Islands. What I mean by that is I'm 6'1", I'm 260, I'm pretty well put together. And there's a lot of bigger American mixed breed men that would have been running around the Philippine Islands. So they were literally taking the bastard males and shipping them to Spain, which Spain is, owns the Philippines or controls the Philippines. Yeah. So before that could happen, I had an Air Force couple that came in and said, hey, we're looking to adopt a child. So they started the adoption process, got me a temporary visa back to the United States. And then the woman who's going to adopt me, her father gets sick and he dies. She goes schizophrenic and they couldn't raise me. So they dumped me at an orphanage. Right. And then I got adopted and I love my dad. I love my mom. They're the most white bread from the hills of Alabama people they had. And they adopted me, but they adopted me in Detroit, Michigan, because my dad worked at General Motors. Fortunately, my dad was a Vietnam vet and he drank a lot and unfortunately couldn't raise. He's my best friend now. So Dad, if you're watching, you're listening, you're my best friend in the world. But if at the time he was drinking, so they couldn't raise me. So I went to live with my Marine uncle, who I call my second dad, but it was very strict. And so I always felt like I was kind of tossed around. Got pretty decent at sports, but not good at grades. So it was like I wasn't getting a scholarship or anything like that. So I ended up going to the military and finding my family there, my tribe, my squad. And, fast forward to 2003, I found out that my mom kept my twin sister. And so I got to meet them. And then I had 8 other half brothers and sisters. They all live in Jersey. They kind of made it over to Jersey. Never got to meet my mom. Unfortunately, she passed away. But it was like I found a family within the military that got me to level up through life. And then when I got out of the military, got into this real estate game, printed money, didn't listen to my advisors. The theory of relativity happens when you make money. When you make money, everyone's your relative. So they came to you. So I was giving away money, right, to people. And I was also that douchebag that showed up and, sports cars and stuff at family reunions, and everyone's like, dude, you're an idiot. And I didn't see it because my ego was like so big. And then I lost everything in 09. And when the market crashed. And so I was sleeping in a house that I had listed where the people left to move to Florida. And I listed their house, and I lived in their house without them knowing it, with a 70-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback dog. And a friend of mine handed me a book called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. It's a must read. And basically it's this dude that like loses his job, daughter gets sick, he wants to kill himself. And when he hits the tree, he wakes up in 1945 before Give 'em Hell, Harry Truman dropped the bomb the day before, right? Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And so he visits like Harry Truman, King Solomon for wisdom, Anne Frank for happiness, and Abraham Lincoln for responsibility. And that reading that book was like, listen, man, I've been doing everything as a vulture. I was preying on other people's misfortunes, with real estate and buying it and stuff like that. And then losing it kind of put me in a space of service. So, I was handed another book called Radical Leap by Steve Farber. And one thing I took from there is do what you love in the service of people that love what you do.
Oh,
so if they see what you're doing is
that's
awesome, then you will, they will listen to you. They will follow you because they know you do what you love.
Say that again so the people in the back can hear you.
Yeah, I do what you love in the service of people that love what you do. And that is credited to Steve Farber. He wrote the book Radical Leap and also Radical Edge. Fantastic books. They're business parables. They're fantastic. And that's, if people see what you're doing and you actually love it, they will follow you. So with my coaching now, they see how passionate I am.
Yeah.
But they also see how I can also get by doing nothing, where I can chill.
They're back to the,
I can just bring it back, dial it back. And I might only be 10, 20 minutes, but then I'm ready to rock and level up again.
I love that.
So that's just my story. And I'm blessed to have went through it. And I have a loving family, fantastic lady. It's, awesome pit bull, a couple rescue cats, so life is good.
Well, Suzanne's saying it's a fascinating story. Wow. So impressed.
Hey, Suzanne, thank you.
And Louis here. Louis says, Maggie, but he's here and he's one of those awesome forces of nature as well. We have a wonderful, wonderful circle here tonight. And as we continue with this beautiful story of yours, here's our next quote. Do it scared, baby. Okay.
I got that from our really good friend Berta.
Oh,
and
I love her.
She said that, and it just was like, wait a minute, it's in this, no matter what you think of the man, Donald Trump. Okay, in 1997 or 8, I went to this gathering. It was a networking event in Jersey, and there was tables in there. And this is when Trump was going through all of his bankruptcy, all that jazz, right?
Yeah.
Losing everything. So there was like tables with like Aaron Brockovich was at one, Connie Chung was at one. So what would happen is you'd have these sessions, you'd have breakout, you'd have dinner with these people, right? Like it was cool. So it was like Trump and then another person and then me, and she was going up to the bar all the time smoking a cigarette. And I was like, he's like, what do you do, son? And because it was just kind of him, and he was like way out of place, who he is. And I'm like, well, I just bought my first investment property. He's like, when you buying your second one? And I'm like, I'm just scared. He's like, son, anything you want's on the other side of fear. Right. So it's like, that's like, I actually was told that. And it was a pretty cool thing. So like fear is face everything and respond. Everyone has their own acronym for it, right? False evidence appearing real, face everything and rise, whatever. But I just think that anything that is going to make a difference in other people's lives, not so much mine, it's going to obviously make a difference in mine, but make a difference in other people's lives to level them up. It's going to be some scary stuff that I'm going to be going through.
That's so awesome. I mean, I will say, I'll give a nod. It's on the other side of fear, which it is. Everything's on the other side of fear. People don't reach their most incredible heights, the highest heights, even if we don't see it as that, but their own lives, because they're scared. And I will say, Jim Carrey said it the same with regard to his father when he died, like he was a post office employer, but he was the comedian in the family. And he said, you can either do what you love And if you fail, you fail, or be scared and stay in your space and never know your true potential.
Right.
And I keep thinking about that. It's like, wow, so many people, there's so much potential. And not that they're not reaching it, it's just that they're not giving themselves permission
Right.
to do it scared. And I love that you said it. Louis saying, rescue cats, you're a good dude.
Louis, my man.
Yeah, Louis is the man. Louis, let me tell you, he is an amazing man. So we continue with these wonderful quotes. Okay. Inch by inch, it's a cinch.
Mm-hmm.
By the yard, it's hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us.
Yeah, it's basically another coach that I've been blessed with kind of put me on this, that quote. And it was how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, whatever, right? But when I can, everything is done and can be broke down and dumbed down, if you will, into baby steps. And so everything that you do, as long as it's working towards your big goal or what you want to accomplish, it can be done. But people want to jump the staircase, instead of just taking a step at a time. There's and the thing is the people that I coach, especially, the pro bono stuff I do at the high schools is, there's so much experience and so many things that are going on during those inches that just makes fantastic memories. Right. So when you're looking in that small little rearview mirror of memories, and you can pull forward a lot of the good memories, because, so many people have a foot in the future, a foot in the past, and they piss all over the present, right? So it's like they do that because a lot of times they're trying to break off so much to get to where they are, and while they're doing that, they're dragging all their baggage behind them. So might as well just go slow, little bit at a time, and enjoy that journey while you're doing it, man. Because we're all gonna die. We're all going to. And
no true words are said, right? I mean, what? No true. You're guaranteed to be born and to die. What do you do in the middle, right? And Suzanne's agreeing. Baby steps, compound effect. The thing is, I think that it's funny. I think those two concepts we were talking about before, inch by inch, and I think that over time you're like, is it gonna get any better? Anytime soon? You're just like, enough already. Let's do this, right?
Right.
And then you're back to the point where maybe that's the time where you need to sit there and take your sabbatical and let go a little bit.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, if you're feeling that the resistance, maybe that's when you're like, okay, maybe this is a time where that the ebb and flow. Maybe I need to start flowing. And I think that this point certainly hits it out of the ballpark, because you don't want to bite off more than literally you can chew, especially with an elephant. But at the end of the day, you want to be in your life. You want to engage in your life. And if you do it slower, then you're going to pay attention to the people who enter your life. And I love that. This is great advice.
Yeah. It makes for great experiences. That's I live for experiences.
That's a great way to live.
And fear, people that fear stuff, it's just an excuse for not experiencing stuff. To me, I understand there's obviously things that need to be feared, when it comes to life and death. But if you're still breathing air and you can make it through something, just do it. Hate to go all Nike on it. But it's true. Just do it.
But you have a lot of perspective because you actually served in active duty. You were there. You were in Kuwait. You were in Afghanistan. I mean, we know conceptually through the media or whatever else, but you were there. So when you see things happening, like in combat zones, literally, maybe this takes on a different meaning. The life is an adventure, the experiences, because you have experiences with that family that you've already spoken to. You've spoken about your family, and it's I love it. Enjoy the journey while you're, and I don't. There are tough times we have, and it's really hard to make that choice to enjoy it. And maybe that's the time where you let others help carry you a bit,
Correct.
I will go back to I love this one. Your past is a place to be learned from, not a home to be lived in. Oh my God, I love this. I love it.
With my clients, we have the whole windshield and rearview mirror. Like the windshield's huge for a reason, right? It's so you can see things that are coming and you can see where you're at. And the rearview mirror is there and it's like this big, right? But so many people will live there, because they think that's what's happen to them is happening to them. It's not. What's happened to you is not happening to you. You can make the decision to level up and make your life how you want it to be. And like if you there's help everywhere. If you're a religious person, there's help at church. If you're somebody that's in business, there's coaches out there, and they will get you there. But if you're going to stay in the past, that's where you're never going to progress. You either progress or regress, Meg. There's no staying the same, right? If you think so, look at pictures of me in 1997. I was 25 years old. There's a lot less of these gray things there, and I'm happy with myself now. But it's like you do change, but if you're going to take the steps forward, it might as well change for the better. But so many people just live back there and then drag it forward because that luggage is heavy, man. And then you keep on packing it, and then you stay there. And there's
I love how you said before, it's the luggage will kind of it won't. You're like pushing forward, but it's pulling you back, and you chose not to cut the strings. And it's interesting that you're speaking to this right now, because one of the things that I tend to deal with over and over again, is those triggers that bring up those memories that you're like, oh, are we doing this again? And it's like, well, if I don't want to do this again, then I don't want to do this again.
There you go.
It's not happening. Unless I replay the tape and watch that movie, then it's not, then it's not, for sure.
Right.
And I love that you say that, because in Mike's saying happened doesn't mean happening. And it's true. Happened does not mean happening.
Right.
But you can use it as a part of your greater story.
And learn from it. And there's certain things that, unless you're my cat, a cat steps on a hot stove once, right? And it won't do it again unless it's Delilah. She never learns a lesson. But it's, if you learn, you can learn from objections. You can learn from obstacles. You can learn from them. And that's one thing that it took me a little bit of time to do because of how my past was. I was abandoned, like left and right, orphanage, this, that, the other thing, and it was just like, I could have stayed there and just said, and nothing against someone that works on the line at General Motors or Ford. My dad did that for 30 years and he's a happy man, but it's like you could stay there, but when you really can level up and start something new or get your body in shape or lose that weight or whatnot, it's all the power of choice and looking forward and being absolutely present in the moment and like taking time to just do nothing, right? And just leaving that past there.
And I do want to go back to this point because I think it really is important. And I love this. It's really you're happy. So you have to figure out what that is. It's not anyone else on this line who's listening tonight or in my life, it's my happy.
Right.
It's what makes me come alive, what gives me joy. And I really, that is something that really is important, because if you're living your life authentically, then you can align to that. But if you're not, and you're watching everybody else and just kind of getting, and like, I should have that. But then if you had that, then you wouldn't have all that you have.
Sure.
Then it shifts your perspective and saying, well, then I'm back to the gratitude sandwich, right? Back to the gratitude. And, Suzanne's saying, we all know the definition of insanity is a hold on tight to those things. Right.
I guess something that I have my clients do when they start living in the past a little bit is I have them do the plus equals minus exercise. And basically what I do is say, listen, today you're going to go to someone that you really respect and you want to be them or get to their level, and you're going to learn from them. Okay. Then you're going to go to someone that's equal to you. Okay. And you're going to bounce off ideas, and you're going to go with someone a little bit less than you that needs the help to pull forward. And if you do that every single day, it's impossible to live in the past because you're staying present with those plus equal minus, period. I have my people do that. And it's something that my coach had me do it. And it's something that I literally was like, wait a minute, I don't even think about what's wrong or what's happened. I'm only thinking about what's happening when I'm meeting those 3 different people that day. That's it.
So cool. So you're out there looking for your plus, equal, and minus.
Yep.
And then service toward that, which
Right.
goes back to the whole, wake up call in your life when everything went to, down to the, spiraling into it,
Yeah.
okay, well, how will I be of service? How will I show up differently? And
Mhm.
that's changed your life. And,
Mhm.
then this is amazing. Don't take life too seriously. You are not making it out alive. Everybody,
Yeah.
if you want to know why you can laugh at yourself more, this is it.
That's
Please.
it.
Yeah.
And I got this from Ryan Reynolds is like a
Love,
mega star right now, right?
love him.
But
Yeah.
he said this in a movie in the year 2000 called Van Wilder. It's one of his first movies, one of the funniest, raunchiest movies you'll ever see, right?
Love it.
But he just said in a very like low key scene with Tara Reid, his love interest at the time in the movie, he said, "Don't take life too seriously; you'll never make it out alive."
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm not saying be self-deprecating and put yourself down and stuff, but man, if something happens that's funny, and if it even happened to you, laugh about it. I mean, we're all born with a death date. And I think you said that before. We're all, we're all born with an expiration date. But my little dash on my tombstone, between my life date and my expiration date, I want to be known as, and I will be remembered as some that really planted trees that I know I'll never sit in the shade of, right?
Oh,
And help it move forward. But at the same time, I had a ton of freaking fun.
yeah.
I have fun all the time. I'm a person that will razz people. If they're not the type that likes it, then I don't. Because you could read people, you get the looks and be like, no, that's not right. But I'm always, messing, playing. I'm not a big prankster, but I'm always just, I just laugh. I I don't I make 2 New Year's resolutions every year, Meg. And I did this since 09. One is to make someone smile every day. Okay.
Wow.
And 2, unless I've hurt you or disrespected you, I could give 2 absolutely no what's about what you think about me.
Wow.
If I've never hurt you or disrespect you, I do not care if you don't like me. There's a horse for every course, and maybe you're not the track for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's it. I don't do it. My tribe are people that are fired up like yourself, motivated, ready to move forward, progress, and we don't take life seriously. We're going to have fun because we're only here for a little bit, like the cliche. We're not here for a long time. He's here for a good time. It's like, it's true though. We are, and
oh my God.
yeah. And when you live this way, you don't like really strive for perfection. You strive really for progression, which goes back to inch by inch to cinch. So if you're not taking things seriously, you're taking your clients seriously. Don't get me wrong. When I'm coaching a client, I'm like, hey, you know what? You suck. And, you should be laughing about this. But no, it's something I live by, and it's something that that I really encourage people to really live by.
I think that there are many things that as we go through life, the wisdom, and this is the month of profound wisdom. It's March, right? I always say it's profound wisdom.
Yeah.
And this is a nod to you. And my father was born in March, and he is probably one of the most wise men I've ever met in my life. Clearly, someone who's a seeker of knowledge. And I've always been, I aspire to that. And, one of the things, the philosophers are lovers of wisdom. The ones that lovers of wisdom. So when we speak to reflecting over what's happened to help us progress, back into the future, into where we want to take our lives, I always say, even when I walked the Camino, I kept saying, okay, I need to get here. So it pulled me forward. So
you did the walk?
Yes. Like
really?
Yeah, so I was always like, pull me forward,
Wow.
so I don't stay where I am. And not that where I am is a bad thing, but I want to see the experience of what I'm to learn by waking up every
I can't
day.
wait to walk it. That's something that is a bucket list I will knock off, because I want to see all the gypsies. I want to see everybody that's out there on the way. I watched the movie The Way. The Way. Great movie. And I just want to see it because it's so true. Because I know people now. I know another person that's actually did the walk, the Camino. And that's amazing. I'm sorry I cut you off. That's
no,
awesome.
No, I did. I thought you knew I did that. I didn't. I totally did it in 2018. It's actually part 3 of my book, Butterfly Awakens. I spoke to that, but Louis saying now, a few years back, my wife saw me looking at the bottom of my foot. She said, "What's wrong? What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for my expiration date." I know.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God, you got to meet Louis too, for sure. I love
Yeah,
it. My
I love
people.
it. Louis, be free. Love that.
All my
Love it.
people, all my tribe has showed up tonight. I love it. I love it. I love it. And actually, it's interesting. One of those things about profound wisdom, and when you need people most, they show up for you. And I think that you know, you know, maybe today is the day I need all of you wonderful bright lights to show up, and I get to talk to you, so I can bring your wisdom back to them, which is always something that I get excited about because it's as if but I can't wait to tell you all about. Oh my God, I have to share. I got to share. Because you know what? If it made me come alive more to my life and it makes my life more full and rich in knowing you has, then I can share with others, and also you'll do that as well.
Absolutely.
So amazing. And Suzanne saying, "Well, Louis and Scott would kill it together," and he is. You probably would. There you go. Well, this is my year of magical connection. So all my years, this is my year of magical connection. So every person that comes into my life, I find that they bring some kind of pixie dust, something that adds to the beauty of my life, where I get to do nothing sometimes and think about how grateful I am for those connections. So back to you. And, these conversations are about extraordinary people. And obviously you are extraordinary in everything you do. And I like to engage that so that you can share. And you've already shared so many knowledge nuggets with everybody today. What more, right? What more? There's so much more. But the reality is that we all have tools that help us. And I know that you've already spoken to the gratitude sandwich. I love it. I'm going to tell my kids about that. I love it. I used to do attitude of gratitude. What are you grateful for? But this is better. This is like a visual. I like the visual.
You've been I just give like 37 entries. Your name's in there. In my gratitude log. Yep. It is awesome. It's there.
It's made my day. There you go. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, what's a tool that you use that helps you move forward in life when you're maybe feeling a little stuck, or maybe you need a little shake it up a little bit?
I am blessed to have a round table of some pretty awesome people that are alive still, that I can reach out to and just bounce to be a sounding board. And a lot of times when that happens, they'll tell me, and even if I go into books and I read, I have a round table of books, and I'll set, Napoleon Hill over here, Gandhi over here. I'll send it and I'll read a little bit, and every one of them says go out and serve, right? And the way that I can do it is I can mentor. There's people out there, especially veterans, that come back that are trying to invite themselves into our life, and it's hard, man. It sucks. And so, I have no shame in saying I see a psychiatrist at the VA once a month. Dr. Gold, thank God for Dr. Gold. Dr. Simano, so they're my sounding boards also. But I go out, I mentor. The more you mentor, the more immortal you become, right? It's like the more you pass it forward, it will come back.
Yeah.
And to you, again, it goes about those planting trees, but the tree with the most fruit hangs to the ground, right? So it's like you're reaching down and you're helping people, man. So anytime I'm feeling like crap or I'm feeling sorry for myself, I just go out and I say, who can I help? Who can I serve? Yeah. And it will come back to me. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, it's impossible for it not to reciprocate back to you. It's like this plant that's sitting over here. The one plant in my house a cat won't eat. Right. Right. So basically a plant, like you breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. The plant breathes in carbon dioxide, breathes out oxygen. So there's that give and take. It's mandatory in life for that to happen. That's just, it's mandatory. If you serve and you give, and we say we give until it hurts so good here at Time to Shine Today, that you do that, it's impossible for things not to reciprocate back. And now it might not come in the form of money or what you want, but like my goddaughter called me, just a couple of months ago, out of the blue. It's like, hey, Poppy. And I'm like, hey, and, it wasn't about, hey, you got $100 or you got something, it was just to talk and shoot the, what. And it was, it was pretty cool. So just the more you serve and the more you mentor. Yeah.
I'll speak to this because we all seem to believe that the green energy, the money, the almighty dollar is that which is our financial sustenance or our success or whatever that means to you. Mm-hmm. my God, what you just got from your goddaughter, fulfills another part of your whole being. And that is also something that makes you happy, which is
Right.
ultimately the goal of life, I think, is what's going to make you happy. Because there's wealthy billionaires that go from here and beyond that
Yeah.
don't have the happiness
Right.
that sometimes someone who has like nothing, obviously, you have to worry about other things.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, where do I want to be at the end? Like, I love that you said that, what's
Mhm.
your legacy going to be, right?
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
you're, going to leave those acts of service and people are going to be different because of you,
Right.
are going to be changed
I
because of
appreciate that. That's the biggest compliment that I can have. Again, I'm not looking for a street to be named after me. I'm not looking for any of that. I just want to know deep down inside myself that I made a difference.
wow.
Period. And I'm good, with that. That's 100% good with me because I'm very gregarious. I'm very rah rah, and I'm Midwestern from Michigan. I hug and stuff, but at the same time, I can just chill at home
Yeah.
and do nothing and
Which is the
and
beauty
do
of
relax,
the beauty
So
I love it. And Mike's even adding to the more you serve, the more you mentor. A wonderful mantra to
yeah,
have. And I do think that what it makes you immortal, those
yeah,
those those things that make you immortal, is that people will remember the man you were, the woman you were, and smile. Like you
yeah,
say, you go out and make someone smile every day. And imagine, to bring someone sunshine rather than any kind of pain is
sure,
quite a gift, I think, as
right,
well. And
right.
I do love manifesting. So what is one of the things that you want to manifest this year in your life, and how are you going to go about doing it?
Manifest in my life. You know what? I have everything kind of written over here of what I want.
Yeah.
I really want to tune into my temple. Yeah, because this 50 is a number, right? I know it's a number, but it's a number. It's like half century. So I want to make sure that I am tuned into my temple this year. That's one thing I want to manifest. And I've turned to some really solid people that are 55, 60, 62 that are where I want to be when I'm that age, temple wise, my
Yeah.
body wise. And
Body
so
temple.
that's something that is huge with me this year because it's like serving people and building businesses is, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's easy. For me, I love what I do in the service of people that love what I do. So it just comes to me. And with that, but my body, waking up and feeling the blood, not being able to hop out of bed without my head getting light,
Yeah.
and there was physiological reasons for that. So that's something that I want to manifest is
Yeah.
ultimate health. And I take very good care of myself, but ultimate health, to the point where I can take it forward, carry it forward, and then pay it forward to people that are coming up in age behind me. You know
Oh,
what I'm
I
saying?
love
Something I can give to
that.
them. So that's something I want to manifest this year is physical.
What is some of the best advice you've gotten so far from someone who is maybe 10, 15 years older than you at this point?
The resistance training, like I've always lifted weights, right? But I don't lift like I did like an idiot when I was younger. But
Yeah.
like to keep that strong, to get your pH balance set first thing in the morning. So I do 2 ounces of distilled water, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, and pink Himalayan sea salt, and I do a shot. And that resets, it turns your brain on. It's
Yeah.
crazy what happens,
Yeah.
and then I rebound. Like, and it's funny because when I speak on stage now, I bring a rebounder out
What is that?
and
What is that?
a trampoline.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
You told me about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I go out on the stage, I'm jumping up and down. I'm telling them
Love it.
why it's good because your body, your heart pumps blood, right? And so it cleanses the blood. But your lymph system that carries all the toxins, the cancer, and everything else has no way to release without
Ah,
motion. So when you're weightless, when you go off of a trampoline, even if it's an inch, you're zero gravity. When you come down on the trampoline, you're at 4 times the gravity. So when 4 times the gravity is zero gravity, it pumps the lymph system out. So I
right.
do 3 minutes of rebounding or trampolining every morning, which
Yeah.
is just totally changed everything. I feel younger. I feel that I look younger. And, and I do it on stage now. And I tell them why I'm doing it. And but
Yeah.
the best part, which I told you, is their heads are going like this.
Yeah.
So it's setting the affirmation for them to say yes about whatever I'm there to speak about. So, but no,
Awesome.
that's something that's really passed forward to me. Is like making sure you set your pH balance within your body and then rebounding. It just really cleanses it out.
That's amazing. Okay, so at the beginning of this interview tonight, we set an intention for the show and we picked a number. And so now is your turn to tell me what your intention was and share the number in the Magical Guide to Bliss that it corresponds to.
My number?
Yes.
Oh, you mean it's not March 14th?
No, it's not. So you pick a number. And well, first of all, what was your intention for this evening?
My intention this evening is to share my story to hopefully make people laugh along the way, again, because I'm not serious, and to like have a fun conversation with somebody that I immensely respect, which I do. I love you. And you know I say I love your guts all the time. And I'm sure I've said it to Leslie and and even probably even Suzanne. It's like, and I mean that. I love you. And it's which is awesome. So yeah, that's my intention is to give as much of me
tell us,
to show.
What number did you pick and what is it that to match your intention tonight in the Magical Guide?
Oh, the number that I picked. Am I supposed to pick
any favorite number that comes to mind?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't follow your directions. Really
it's okay.
Apologize. Should have got my asking gear on that one. But I always I love February is my jam. I was born in February, and it's kind of my month. But the hold on, let's just make sure because I know I earmarked it. The February 4th, You Are Love.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of my jam. That everybody is love, and everybody should, I believe you said, celebrate themselves and celebrate the love. And that's something that, again, I love you. I love everybody. It's just my jam, man. I do. And so that's where I've set my intention on love. And I did that for since 2009. I really have.
How has your life changed since you shifted to that perspective then?
I'm a magnet.
You're a magnet.
I'm a magnet, and I don't mean it like a hot magnet, guy. It's like I'm like
love machine.
No, it's just kind of like when I walk in, I set my intentions. Okay, I don't do affirmations. I do questions. Okay. Right. So I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm great on this," because whenever you say that, you have a seed of doubt. Like I feel great. I look great. You have that seed of doubt. So I ask myself questions like, say, how is it that I get 7 hours of sleep every night and wake up refreshed? How is it? Because our minds are built to process, right? So if I ask myself the question from the intention that I wanted, or the affirmation for the intention, I ask the questions.
I love that.
So I'm able to, things just start coming to me through subconscious, and I start doing stuff, and I'm like, how the heck did I do this? It's because I've set the intention.
I love it. I love it. And Suzanne's reiterating, love makes the world go around. So keep it as a way shower. So I like that.
I can't wait to have her on because I love saying Simonetti.
Simonetti, yeah.
I can't wait.
We got a lot of Italians on tonight. We got a Spatola, Simonetti. We got lots of.
We do. A lot of names ending in vowels.
Yeah,
except for mine, I think.
We got the Italian. Well, I do.
But Leslie's doesn't. I'm good now. I'm not alone.
Yeah, but her husband's Italian, so there you go.
Okay.
So anyway, one of the things I want to do is leave everybody tonight with a final bit of inspiration from you. I know that you have so much to give, but what do you think right now in our time to shine? What kind of inspiration do you want to leave us with that might be just the thing to shift us into the light rather than staying in the darkness?
Okay, first of all, 12 a.m. is dark, right? So every day starts in the dark. You earn your sunrise, you earn it, you go through it, right? But the one thing that I would want to leave after this conversation, let me see. You know what? You don't have to be sick to get better, right?
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah.
You don't have to be sick to get better. It's like you can get better every single day, inch by inch. You don't have to have lost everything like I did to get better. A lot of people play that superhero syndrome where they'll sabotage themselves just so they can pull it out again. Yeah, look at me. You know, I got my bank account to 100,000, but I got it down to $700 and I'm building it back up. Right. You know, and I have that in their relationships. I've been guilty of it. I feel you. And I would make myself sick just so I could make myself better. You don't have to be sick to be better, man. You can just go set your intentions, set your attitude of gratitude, write your gratitude sandwich, eat that mofo, and then go out and serve people.
I love it.
You know?
Guys, that is key advice. And Mike saying he loved your Earn Your Sunrise, which is a beautiful thought. I would agree with that as well. You know, one of the things I love about this show is I get to talk to people like you. And tonight I get to take away all those knowledge nuggets with me because you know, it's interesting too, because my next book, the title I've always had is always The Sunrise of My Soul's Bliss. And I always say that when you're looking toward the sunrise, there's always possibility to live another day in a different way. And if you're having a bad one, then just go to them.
Love that.
You know,
in a different way. Yeah, man. I love it.
I love your guts. So I get to say it now. I love your guts. I want to show everybody in the feed the wonderful visual of episode 197 with Scott. This is his show, Time to Shine Today. Go check it out. It's an amazing little hit of inspiration and wonder. And I know you're going to thank me at the end. You know, everyone's here is saying it's such a great interview. Thank you. I will thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are an amazing, amazing person. Your story just leans more heavily to the fact that what you are, who you are becoming is your choice. And you're actually, you know, one of those people that I'm happy to call friend, a part of my tribe, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you so much, Scott, for being here to manifest with me tonight. I will remind everybody out there that, you know, we all are about a day away or even a moment away from awakening. I'm going to show my book in this stream as well.
Yes.
Yes, to awaken, to show, to be bold, to have the coraggio, the courage to go out there and take hold of your dreams like Scott, you know. And if you ever need any kind of, you know, bit of inspiration, I'm telling you, this person is one who's going to provide that for you. So go reach out to Scott. I'll put all of his information in your feed. Why don't you tell us before we go where they can find you?
You know what? I'm really podcast driven. I don't hunt down coaching business, but we do have an awesome coaching setup that I have here. But I really just would love people to go to timetoshinetoday.com/podcast. That's what I'd love to do, because it just hears things from other people's perspectives that will definitely level you up. I promise you it will level you up. There's no doubt about it.
So say it again. Time to shine.
Today.com.
Today.com.
Yep. /podcast.
/podcast.
Yep.
Oh my God. And Louis wants to see some photos of your cats.
I'll send you some. I'll DM you some, Louis. We'll hook up right after this, man.
I love it.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much, Scott, for being here. You've offered so much inspiration, so much wisdom in the month of March. This has been coming for a long time that we sit down and have this conversation.
Yeah.
It's more of a celebration because you really, really do bring so much to my life. And I want to remind everyone who's listening today that you do as well. So remember, be deliberate creators of your life. Go out and raise the positive vibrations in this world, on this planet, so we can all live our bliss. Let's love ourselves, like Scott says. Share the love, be the mentor, you know, go earn your sunrise. I love that. It's time to manifest the life of your dreams. I'm wishing you all bliss tonight. And yes, time to shine. Yes, it is. So good night.
Love it.
Thank you so much. I love it. I love your guts once again. I love all your guts. And I will see you guys next time this month. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Bye.